Hello, hello everybody. Happy Tuesday. Today is Tuesday. One of my favorite days of the week because it's almost Wednesday. Okay guys, so today I wanted to come to you and talk to you about 5 toxic chemicals that could be lurking in your deodorant. And guess what? It could be very harmful for you, for your children. So I want to go over those today. Now, maybe this isn't for you. Maybe you've had education on this. Maybe it's for somebody else. Make sure you like, comment, and share. If you're watching me for the first time, my name is Crystal Spink. And so, I want to tell you a little, quick background story. I made the switch from actual deodorant probably 2 years ago. And the reason why I went through all this is because of my infertility. It was actually 3 years ago with my infertility with my daughter, and actually cutting out all chemicals in all my personal care items, hair, makeup, skincare, deodorant, all of that, body stuff, everything. And so while I'm going over all of these, I just want you to know I'm not a scientist. I'm not a physician, but I can tell you these are common knowledge chemicals. You can go on Google, Google, and you can Google them, and they are very common. You will see them on the back of your deodorants. So these are very in-depth chemicals that have been known to man and we have been using for many, many years. Now, why are these harmful to you? I'm going to be going through each one of them and sharing with you how they are harmful. So again, let's go over these 5 toxic chemicals that could be lurking in your deodorant. So the first one is aluminum. Okay, aluminum is typically, you will find in all over-the-counter chemical-based deodorants. And the reason why is because it's an active ingredient that they have to put in any antiperspirant. An antiperspirant main objective is to block the body from sweating. Now, why is this bad? It is bad to block sweating because that is how we get rid of stench. That's how we get rid of toxins. That's how we get rid of all of that stuff. So when you're like, oh man, I stink so bad, that is your body telling you you are actually producing things correctly. Yes, we don't want to walk around with stench, but aluminum's purpose is to block your body from sweating. We do not want to block our body from sweating because that is how we get rid of toxic, gross stuff that we put into our body, and that's how it comes out. It's absorbed into the skin so fast that it actually attaches to estrogen receptors. Now, what are estrogen receptors? Estrogen obviously is in our body. Okay, men and women have estrogen. Men just don't have much as women. What are estrogen receptors? You can think of them as like little tiny circles. They are mainly found in the breast area. Okay, so when you're putting an aluminum into your body, into your armpit, it's absorbed quickly. And if you know me, I'll tell you anything that you put on your body is absorbed within 20 seconds. Okay, and especially in the armpit. Now, if you're unfamiliar with like the armpit and the neck and all those areas, we have a lot of lymph nodes. This is the area where you find tons of lymph nodes. Hi, Kayla. That's where you're going to find where women are going to have lumps in the breast area. We have those estrogen receptors. We have the lymph nodes, right? So that's why they're always doing examinations. That aluminum that's in your deodorant, antiperspirant, is absorbed and it attaches immediately to the estrogen receptors. It has been linked to possible kidney damage, liver damage, and brain damage. Okay? If you notice, people are having a lot more dementia than normal. So what I'm saying with that is these chemicals are causing brain dysfunctions like dementia and all those wonderful things. Also, you are going to notice that it has been linked to breast cancer. Again, it's going in our armpits, it's attaching to those estrogen receptors, which are in our breasts. Now, I'm not saying everybody's doomed for breast cancer. Again, I'm not a scientist. I am not a doctor, but I will tell you that is the first thing that scared me straight was my body's absorbing these. And I will tell you the next 4 are even more scarier. The next one is parabens. Now, you will hear me talk about parabens and sulfates and all of that till I'll be dead in my grave. Parabens are actually present in all deodorants and antiperspirants that are chemical based. They are known to kill bacteria growth. So most of them will have that in there because its purpose is to stop sweating and its purpose is to kill bacteria so you don't smell funky, right? Some of the most common parabens that you're going to find are methylparaben, propylparaben, butyl paraben, and isoparaben. Okay, so they'll have paraben at the end. You're usually going to find this in 75 to 90% of like personal hygiene items, as in like deodorants and what have you when it comes to that. There was actually a study done in UK on parabens in antiperspirants and deodorants, and they did 160 tissue samples in the armpit breast area. Out of that, actually they took it out of the breast tissue, I'm sorry. So out of 160, they took 160 breast tissue samples, and for women who had mastectomies. Okay, so if you're unfamiliar with what a mastectomy is when a woman has removed her breast. I assume we all know that, but I just want to make sure if you're unfamiliar with what a mastectomy is. So they remove it because it has been found that there's cancer in there, so they encourage them to have mastectomies. In those 160, there was one form of paraben that was found in 99% of those women. In the samples, 5 of those parabens that I just gave you, the most common ones, were found in 60% of that breast tissue. So again, remember, Bob, quit it. Remember, it's absorbed quickly into our armpits. It gets into our estrogen receptors, which is in our breast tissue, okay? So it's absorbed, and they're finding this in UK studies. I will tell you something about Europe. Europe has very high standards when it comes to toxics, and it comes to makeup toxins, skincare toxic stuff, body care stuff. They actually ban over 1,200 different toxic chemicals in Europe. In the United States, we only ban up to 12 to 13. Okay, so when we talk about these studies that happen, it's because they're very strict. And they're finding the research, and that's why they restrict these, because they're doing studies on these women, on these different chemicals that are in products. The second one is propylene glycolic. Okay, and you're going to find these, you can find these on the back of your deodorants. Like, there's no question about it. These are very well-known chemicals, toxic chemicals. You can find them on Google, all that stuff. So propylene glycolic, it's actually found in a lot of deodorants, probably about 75 to 90% of them. It's actually a moisture sealer. Okay, so first we have aluminum, which blocks your body from sweating, which you should be sweating. We have parabens, which actually is the preservative, which has been found in breast tissue. Also, we have propylene glycolic, which is a moisture sealer. So we have all of these chemicals that are preventing your body from doing what it's supposed to naturally do. We're supposed to sweat. If we're not sweating, our body is not getting rid of toxins. And so you should be sweating. You should be having some sort of smell to your armpit. Now, there are solutions which I will give you and walk you through at the end, but I'm not saying you have to walk around with stinky pits, but I'm saying that is your body telling you that you're processing things correctly. But we have been conditioned to think we should not have those, because when we smell somebody who may not particularly be doing a solution that they should be doing, they kind of stink, right? Or the 12-year-old boy who needs to start using immediately, like he needs to use deodorant. We just slap a deodorant on him or antiperspirant. So that is normal. You should be having those. Propylene glycolic, you can find it on the back of your deodorant. It should say PEG or PG. Okay, so I always tell people research ingredients because they could come up in a different type of writing. It actually is absorbed into your skin as fast as a paraben, and it actually increases your risk of skin contamination. And what that means is what they have found is nickel and arsenic in the body from that glycolic. It's actually, like for example, it causes that contamination of nickel and arsenic in the body. It's actually considered a neurotoxin. And what that means is it actually exacerbates dermatitis of the skin. So if you suffer from dermatitis, it can actually exacerbate those symptoms. And that's why some people get like the irritation, the rash under their armpits. Also, it's been linked to kidney damage because of the neurotoxins in it. So as we're seeing here, there's lots of different things that are happening. And then the fourth one is trichosan. It's actually a synthetic antimicrobial, antibacterial, antifungal. It's actually an endocrine disruptor. Okay, this is what you're going to find in antiperspirants and deodorants. Now, I want you guys to think of this and just kind of follow me here. I was talking to a friend and she asked me, she's like, we were just discussing this. She's like, my friend, my son, he just hit puberty. He has horrible body odor, and I don't want to put him on deodorant or antiperspirant. Now, we are easy to just toss that antiperspirant to teenagers because they've got that stench. You don't want them to be the stinky kid in class. But when we think of all of these chemicals, they're actually a endocrine disruptor, hormone disruptor. Now, what does that mean? So, for example, if you have a 12-year-old that hasn't hit puberty yet, I mean, I'm unsure how old kids are nowadays, because I have a friend whose daughter hit puberty at the age of 6. Okay, kids are hitting puberty earlier because of the foods we eat, the hormones in foods, the toxins in foods, but the deodorant toxins, the body lotions, all of these scented body lotions from Bath and Body Works, all of these bubbles that we're putting in our kids' bathtubs, these all have toxic chemicals in them if they're not chemical free. So kids are getting hormone disruptors, endocrine disruptors. You're going to find kids are going to hit puberty faster. You're going to find that kids are going to be in the chest area faster. You're going to find that kids are going to get facial acne faster. So we are actually speeding up this process that should be naturally, right? No, I'm not saying that you're a bad parent. I'm not saying people are doing things wrong. I'm just telling you from personal research and firsthand of seeing things that have been happening, that the endocrine disruptors in the chemicals are very scary. They're very scary. And so women are hitting menopause faster. Women are becoming infertile faster. These are endocrine disruptors. Doesn't just happen to teenagers, it happens to males. Males are becoming sterile faster. Men are having infertility issues. They're not producing enough sperm. Women are having infertility issues. Women are not producing enough eggs. They're not producing enough quality of eggs. This is not just in deodorant. This is in skincare products, makeup products, food, everything across the board. And that was one of the reasons why I cut all of that out. And so when I talked to my friend and she was like, well, I'm just going to give him some antiperspirant because I don't know what to do. I went through this with her and I said, girl, I telling you, you should not be doing that. And I went through like the things and we talked about how she can take a clay mask and help detox him. But besides the point of these chemicals, it's actually a carcinogen that accumulates over time in the tissues, in the armpit, in the tissues, in the breast area, even in men and women. It's been found and linked to breast milk. So when you are, obviously we know when you're pregnant, everything that you have passes on to your baby, whether that be breast milk, whether they be in your tummy, whatever toxic chemical you're putting on your skin, whether that be cleaning products, skincare products, makeup products, vitamins, all of that stuff is being passed on through breast milk or through the placenta. So those are really big things to keep in mind. It's also found in breast milk. It's been found in blood, and it's also been found in urine. Super, super scary. And so one of the last ones is a fragrance. Fragrance is a big thing for me because this one is in almost every personal care item that you're going to find over the counter that is not chemical free. Okay. It also is known as phthalates. And I'm going to give you the different abbreviations for it that you could be finding it in your personal care items. DBPH, DBP5, DEPH, and also dibutyl phthalate. Okay, so I know these are big, like scientific names. I just give them to you so you can see that just because it doesn't say fragrance or phthalates in it doesn't mean that it's not on there. It could be under a different abbreviation or name. Okay, so like I said, this is found in a lot of personal care items. It's actually known as a carcinogen. It's been linked to cancer. Also, it's an endocrine disruptor. So again, we're talking about disrupting as we get older as women and men. Also with children hitting puberty and hormones and all that fun stuff. It's actually a developmental toxin. So remember I was talking about how we're passing all these things into the placenta or through our breast milk if we're breastfeeding. So it actually has been linked to cause fetal development issues. Also, it's been linked to passing it through breast milk, causing child developmental issues or developmental issues like when they're using it because of all the toxins that are getting into their body. So it's absorbed and attached to the nearest endocrine receptor. And so again, our endocrine receptors, lymph nodes, all of that is in our armpits. It's all in here. I mean, this is a huge area from below our breast to our neck, our armpits, all of that. There's lots of lymph nodes, lots of endocrine receptors. It attaches to that, and then it's been linked to breast tissue. And then when we think about it, women are getting breast cancer more. Women are getting linked to more cancer, more and more breast cancer. It's become more prominent. And this is not just necessarily because of a hormone. I'm not saying you use this hormone disruptor, you're going to get cancer. Again, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist. This is just research. So what is the solution? Again, I was talking to my friend and I said to her, first you have to detox the pit. And so I always suggest just taking a really nice clay mask. I use one that has Montana clay in it and tea tree. It's natural. You stick it on the armpit, leave it on there for 15 minutes if you're looking to detox your pits. And those of you who are using a natural deodorant, you may notice your body kind of goes to like a standstill, like a stagnaticity. This happens a lot with deodorant and antiperspirants. Before I used antiperspirants when I used to use antiperspirants and deodorants, my body became used to it. That's because all of that blockage and all of that, it like accumulates over time. Remember I told you that the, let me look at my notes here. Which one accumulated more over time? Oh, the Trisacan accumulates over time. So it kind of starts to block the pit, and that's why we end up just not producing any sweat anymore. We want to produce sweat. So how do we keep that stench out of there? Again, we want to make sure we are detoxing it. And so this is what I do once a month, sometimes twice a month. And that's what I suggested to my girlfriend, and she had amazing results with it with her son. What do you do from there? You find yourself a good deodorant, not a deodorant. Well, it's a deodorant, but it doesn't have any toxicities in it. You want to look for, excuse me, one that has like essential oils in it, one that's not going to have fragrances, one that's aluminum free, all those fun things. So that is what I suggest. So I did do the research for you. I have some great referral deodorants that are going to be helpful for that. So shoot me a message and I can get you that list for free. So I hope you guys have a great day.